So let me open our workspace folder and Jupyter also. Let me go to the Python. The next one is like Python 24.9. Go to the notebook, not notebook. Here, notebook only, right? Yeah. Inside this one, open command prompt. CMD. So how we can open it? Jupyter notebook, right? Jupyter notebook. Okay, spelling mistake. That the reason Jupyter is not recognized as an internal or external command. You can get it, no issues. Jupyter notebook. Just wait, take few seconds to open the notebook. Yeah, here you can see all the files. Which file you want me to open? Functions, right? Now let me create a new notebook. Okay. Okay, here you can select the kernel. Do select, and here you can give the name. What is the name? What is the name you want me to give? Here, what is the name? Any name based on your requirement. I'm going to give like functions to functions to. Just to rename. Okay. So I'm going to write some piece of code. Okay, just you can answer it. Okay. Exact answer you have to tell. If I run this one, what happened? You can unmute and talk. If I run this one, what exactly? If I run this one, what exactly display? What exactly the output was?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, sir. If I run this one in Python, this kind of syntax do we have? This kind of syntax, def, fn,
No, sir.
immediately colon, after that print. Okay, this is what? Syntax error, right? In Python, this kind of syntax not there. In Python, if you want to create a function, def okay, function name okay, function representation you missed, right? Yes or no? That the reason, what kind of error you get it? What kind of error you get it? If you not follow the syntactical rules, this is what? A syntax error or not? If not follow the syntactical rules, it's a syntax error. Okay. The next one. What is the next one? If I write like this, what happened? Just think and tell. Okay, don't think more. General concept. If I run this one, what happened? If I run this one, what is the output? Nothing. Why? It is 100% valid syntax. DEF, FN, inside that one, some statements, that's it. Is the statement will execute or not execute at the time of defining the function? At the time of defining the function, the statement will execute or not execute? At the time of defining the function, the statement will not execute. When the statement will execute? Whenever you call the function or not. Whenever you call the function, then only the statement will execute. Now, if I call it, how many statements are there? One statement with the indentation. If I call it, tell me, what is the error? Whenever you call a function, that function contains how many statements, those statements will execute. If I call it, this statement will execute. What is the error? Name A is not defined. Name A is not defined. Why? Because whenever you execute the statement, A defined or not? Not defined. First of all, A tell me it's a value or reference. It's a reference. Any variable or a function created with A reference? No. So that it gives me an error like what? Name A is not defined. Okay, na? Everyone? Okay, the next one. Df, fn. Okay. If I run this one, syntactically 100% valid, no error, nothing. No error, nothing. If I do like this, if I call, what is the output? If I call it, what is the output? If I call it, what is the output? If I call it, what is the output? My fn required one parameter, right? So that parameter missed here or not? Missing required positional parameter name. Missing required positional argument or parameter name or not? We missed that one. Okay. Now what happened? Exactly such. Exactly such. Fn. Then what happened? Fn take one positional parameter, but two were given or not. Okay, fn take one positional argument, but two were given or not. So that it gives me an error. Agree with me? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Is it valid syntax or invalid syntax?
Invalid.
Is it valid or invalid? Somebody told like invalid. Can I run it? If it is invalid, you should have to get which error? You should have to get which error? Come on. Syntax error or not? Syntax error. If I run this one, if it is not a valid syntax, you can get the syntax error. Is this statement is valid or invalid now? Did you get any syntax error? Did you get any syntax error? No, right? You didn't? Okay, this is not through any syntax error. That means conclude one statement. One Python function can contains one more function or not? Yes or no? One function can contains one more function or not? There is no issue. There is no issue. Now the important thing, answer it. If I call my fn, what is my answer? Think and tell. Any one of you. If I call my fn, what is my output? No one? There has no output. Why? Because see, you have a function fn. Inside this one more function is there. That's okay, fine. Now you call fn, right? Whenever you call fn, this body will execute. This body is what? Again, you define a function. Am I call fn anywhere? If you not call fn anywhere, how this print fn is going to execute? It is not execute or not. That the reason my fn, whenever you call, it define one more function f1, but that is not called, so that the next statements also not there. So there is no output, nothing. So there has no output, nothing. Understood, everyone? Come on. All are okay?
Sir, tell once again, sir, that one.
Now, this is one function, right? Leave it. Okay. Here, if I write something like this, what is my output if I run? If I run this one, there is no output, nothing. When this body will execute, whenever you call the function. So if I call it, the function is like what? Okay, the body executed, my printfn called. Okay, na? Done. Now here, okay, I written like this. If I write like this, first of all, it is valid syntax or invalid syntax. I have one function is there. Inside this one, there has one more function is there. That's it. This function called or not called? Call means like this. If you see the code somewhere like this, this is called as a calling. Did you see anywhere that kind of code? Tell me. Am I call F1 anywhere in this particular block? Called or not called? No, right? No. So if I call this one, okay, if I execute this one, 100% syntax is like valid. Why? Because one function can contains one more function. If I call my f1, okay, fn, I mean, okay, if I call my fn, this is going to executed. Executed is nothing but not calling. This function is like defined. Okay, which function defined? F1. F1 defined, but it is executed. It is called f1. Is it called or not called? Not called. If it is not called, nothing is there to print. Okay, whenever you call fn, one more function defined, but that is not called. After this function, there is no statements also there for execution. Then that time, if I call my fn, okay, one function defined, but that is not executed. After that, no statements, nothing is there, so that it's like an empty or not. Agree with me?
Yes, sir.
All are okay?
Yes. Yes, okay.
Okay, then. Now, okay, now? What is my answer? Hmm? What's my answer? Anyone? 10 now. Okay. First, like, okay, 19th statement, valida, invalida syntactically? Syntactically valida, invalida? 100% valid. One function you defined which contains two statements, that's it. Whenever you define a function, that function body will execute or not execute? Whenever you define a function, the function body, the function statements or the function body will execute or not execute. Whenever you define a function,
Executed.
not execute. Why? Because if you define a function, not execute. When it is going to execute, if I call it, then it is going to execute. Okay. Now, if you come here, you define a function. That means my function body not executed. Now, if I try to call n1, n1 is there or not there? Tell me. Is my n1 is defined anywhere? Yes, defined. But that is inside where? F1. Is it executed or not executed at this moment? Not executed. So that n1 is not available. So name n1 is not defined or not. Kasha, tell me.
Okay.
Now, tell me, N1, N2, these two statements will execute or not execute? If I call F1 like this, these two statements will execute or not execute? Execute.
Executed.
So those statements are executed. Now what is my N1 value? What is my N2 value?
N1 10, N2 10.
Now if you come here, name N1 is not defined again. Why? Because N1 executed, but that is inside the function, right? That is inside the function. That means N1 I can use inside the function only, but outside the function we are not able to use. But you used N1 inside, outside the function. That the reason outside the function N1 is not defined, N1 is not there, so that you can get the error is like what? N1 is not defined or not. Agreed? So this N1 and N2 terminology wise, I can say like a local variables to my F1. Outside that F1, we not able to use it. Inside the F1, you can use it if you want N1. Agreed, everyone? Hello, okay. Come on. Okay. DFFN A print A. What is the type of this A? What is the type of this A?
Function.
Function.
Function. Function. Type of this A is a function. Can I write like this? Will it work or not work? Working, right? Working, right? My type of the A is like a function. Am I use A like this anywhere? Am I use A like this anywhere? No, right? Then how we can say like a function? Exactly. No, right? The A, Fn take one parameter A, that parameter just you printed, you are not using anywhere, just you printed. Okay, so my A value can be anything or not. Fn of 10, 10 is going to print. Okay, na? 10 is going to print. Okay, Fn of, okay, something like this, SS, that SS is going to print. Fn of something like true, the true is going to print. Fn of something like, okay, what is that? True. The next one is what? Different formats, tell me. 1 2 1 1. This is what? This is like a float value. Okay. The next one, different data formats, tell me. Does it remember? We have a deep discussion later. List, it is printed or not? Next one. Tuple, it is printed or not? Yesterday we discussed it, right? My A can be anything or not. How we can say like A is a function? It is completely wrong answer. Okay, na? Okay, then. Now I want to do something like this. Fn. If I write like this, tell me now. If I write like this, tell me now. If I write like this, tell me. My Fn take how many parameters? One parameter. What is the type? My Python not having any type for the variable, but as a developer, based on the uses, you can define, you can decide the type. Based on the uses, can anyone tell me? I am using A like this. It means my A is which type?
Function.
Function type or not? Now your answer is correct. My A is a function. It is not only for Python, any programming language you can take it. If you see Java, .NET, PHP, any programming language you can take it. If you see the statement like this, okay, the A is calling. It means A is calling. When you can call? If it is a function. So A is calling means you are calling a function. A should be a function or not. Okay, na? Now, if I call like this, what exactly the error was? What exactly the error?
Calling FN.
Error message.
Missing one required argument.
Yeah, missing one positional parameter A or not. Missing one required positional argument is like A or not. Yes or no? This is the basic thing. Now, if I write like this, tell me. Like this, tell me. Come on, tell me. If I write like this, tell me. Okay, what is my A value? What is my A value? 10. Here, A expected which value? Function. But A received as which value? Integer.
Integer.
Functions can call, integer objects can callable or not callable? Functions can call, but integer now, integer object is callable or not callable?
Not
Not
callable.
callable. So that int object is not callable or not. Okay, na? Now what is the answer? Now what is the answer? Now, what is my A value? What is my A value? Tell me. A value is what? Come on. A value is what?
List of 1, 2.
1, 2. It's a list, you can say. List. A is a list. But expected is what? A is a list. Expected is what? You are using A as a function. You expected a function, received a list. Can I call a list? You can call a function, but can I call a list? No, right? So that what is the error? List object is not callable or not. Okay, na? List object is not callable. Okay, perfect. Like this. Other than function, anything you pass, you can get the object not callable error or not. Other than function, anything you pass, you can get like which error? Other than function, anything you pass. Okay, you can get like which error? Is not callable error. You can get it or not. Object is not callable. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I don't want that error while calling that fn. So, I don't want that error while calling that fn. So, come on. I don't want that error while calling that fn. So that, what do you want me to do? Simple, right? Okay, let's start. The fn of a calling. You are writing like this, okay, na? Yes. Okay, if I write like fn of 10, everyone knows integer object is not callable. How many functions you can write? How many functions you can write in general? Any restrictions to define a functions? Or, do we have any restrictions to define a functions? Tell me.
No.
No, sir.
No, right? Any number of functions you can. Any number of functions you can define. Okay, I defined one more function also. What's wrong with this one? You can define. Now, if I pass like a 10, if I pass like 10, okay, if I if I pass like 10, if I pass like 10, integer object is not callable error, you can get it. Integer object is not callable error. Now, if you come here, okay, if I pass like F1 like this, then what happened? Can anyone explain me? Can anyone explain me? Come on, can anyone explain me? Come on. Any one of you explain me? Okay, no problem. You are calling which function? Come on, you are calling which function?
FM.
Fn. Okay,
Yes.
which take how many parameters?
One
parameter.
Okay, now you also pass how many parameter values? Also
One.
passed how many? One. Now, based on the uses, my A should be what?
Function.
Function. Now, my A value is what? 10 na F1 na this time?
F1.
F1. Okay, so my A is what? F1. My F1 is which type? It's like integer or function?
Function.
Function. So wherever A is there, just you can replace, if better understanding purpose, A value, for example, 10. Okay, na? A value is like 10. Now, here, A value 10, right? Can you replace wherever A is there with 10 now?
10.
Now see, okay, 10 now. 10 is an integer. Integer you are calling so that you can get the error is like what? Integer object is not callable. Yes or no? Now,
Yes,
instead
sir.
of 10, I want to pass F1. Now, A value is what? F1. So, can I replace A with F1 now? Now,
Yes,
tell
sir.
me, F1 you are calling means F1 should be function. If you come here, my F1 is a function or not? My F1 is a function or not? Tell me. My
Yes, sir.
F1 is a function. So whenever you call F1, my F1 body will execute. It is going to print like what? Print F1 or not? Yes or no? Agreed
Yes,
with
sir.
me? Okay. So that if I run this one, my final output is what? It is not gives me any callable error. You can get the F1 or not. Agreed with me all or?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here the function which take function as a parameter or not? Yes or no? The
Yes, sir.
function f and take, okay, the function, one more function as a parameter or not? That kind of functions, what we can say, we'll see that one. Okay, we can say like a higher order functions or decorator functions, we can discuss at the time of second phase of your functions discussion. For now, up to here, okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Now you can answer it, okay? Can anyone talk about this function? F and take how many parameters?
Two parameters.
Two
Two
parameters.
parameters. Okay, first parameter is A. What is the type of that A? First parameter is like A. What is the type of that A?
Any type, whatever.
Any
Any type. Perfect. Why? Because, okay, my A, just you are printing, you are not using, right? Okay, a plus something, a calling, that kind of stuff is not here. Okay, just you printed, that means a can be any type or not. Any means, tell me the possibilities. A can be a, spell out.
Int.
Integer,
Integer.
Integer,
A
float,
can be a float.
string,
Okay, string, bool,
Boolean,
list, set, range, int. These
list.
all come under or not? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, here if you come to this statement, now tell me what is this? Now tell me what is this one? You are
Function.
using b
Function.
calling, means my b should be a function or
Function.
not. Okay, done. Now my question is very simple. While calling fn, output should be output should be 10 comma such. That means in one line 10, next line Sachin I want. Okay, what is this one? While calling my fn, output should be 10 and Sachin. That's it. Okay, now tell me how we can call. While calling fn, I need this output. So if I call, okay, if I call this kind of output to get, how you want me to call? That is the question. How you want me to call?
Again, declare one function.
You want me to declare one function? Huh? Okay, I can do it. Df f2 like this. I declared. What statement you want me to write? What is the statement you want me to write?
Print Sachin.
You want me to write like a print Sachna? Okay, done. Okay, I
Return
written.
fn.
Huh?
Return fn.
Yeah, where you want me to write return? In the
Print.
47 cell.
Yes.
Here.
Return fn.
Return fn. Okay. Next. Next.
Again, define another function.
See, my question is, while calling fn, straight question, that means you should have to call fn. Okay, na? So don't return that fn. You define a function. Why? Because fn requires a second parameter as a function or not. So simple, fn you can call it. While calling fn, right? So I'm calling. Output should be this one. If I call like this, what is the output? Can anyone guess? Missing two required positional parameters, a and b. Missing two required positional parameters, a and b. Okay, now you have to pass two parameters. First parameter is what? As you said, what is the type of first parameter?
Any type.
Any type. As per your requirement, what you want?
integer,
10. So that can I pass like a 10? Done. Okay, the second parameter is what? Function. If I pass like this, what happened? Again 10. Integer object is not callable. Everyone knows this one. Now if it is not callable, wherever you see not callable means you can understand expected a function, received other than function. Like this you can understand. Expected a function, received other than function. Like that you can understand. Okay, na? Okay, then now my second one should be a function. So already one more function is there, na? Can I call my f2?
Yes.
Yes or no? Now
Yes,
my
sir.
f2 go to which parameter?
B parameter.
Second parameter. Wherever b is there, can you replace with that name f2? You are calling f2. Okay, you are calling f2. You are calling f2 means you are calling f2 function. Okay, so my f2 should be a function. So my f2 is a function or not a function?
Function.
Come on, f2 is a function. Whenever f2 is a function, your calling means that body will execute, so that my output is what? 10 Sachin. So that is only my output or not? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, anyone? No?
No, sir.
Okay, then. Next one. Listen carefully. Okay. Okay. If I run this one, valid or invalid? If I run this one, valid or invalid? 100% valid.
Yeah.
Okay, now my question is, while calling fn, output should be Sachin. That's it. Output should be Sachin. What do you want me to do? While calling fn, the output should be Sachin. Come on. While calling fn, output should be Sachin.
Create a function.
Yes. Okay, first, while calling fn, I said, okay, he said calling. Okay, if I call like this, will it work or not work? Require one positional argument. Okay, positional argument one is required. That one is what? Number? No. Okay, A is which type by seeing this one?
String.
No. A is which type I'm asking?
Okay,
Function.
function.
Function, right? Function. You are calling here without parameter you are calling. Here function only with the parameter you are calling or not. That is only the difference. It is like calling is common, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Here you called without parameter. Here you called with parameter. Don't confuse like it's a string so that A type is like a string. No, A calling. If I cut this string, A calling or not?
Calling.
Calling. With what? With the one parameter, Sachin or not. That's it. A calling. A calling means A should be what? Function only, right? So if I pass 10, integer object is not callable. Everyone knows this error. Now, if you see this not callable, then the time it should be what? It should be what? Function, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you come here, if I write like this, then what happened?
As a string.
Fn you are calling. A is F1. Wherever my A is there, you can replace with F1. Now, F1 calling means my F1 function got executed or not. Okay, now F1 calling means F1 function got executed or not. But here, one thing is missing. What is that one? Can anyone guess? You are calling F1, right? With how many parameters?
Two parameter.
Parameter.
One parameter. You are calling F1 with one parameter means that F1 should take it or not? If you not
Not.
take, zero positional argument, one was given. So you are giving means this guy has to take or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how we can take it? With some reference. Okay, whatever it is, that name can you print here? That's it. Now call my fn. Now f1. If I call fn of f1, I can get the answer is like what, Sachin or not? Agreed, everyone? All are okay?
Okay, sir.
So for good, right? Okay, then. So all these things you can prepare. Tomorrow and after tomorrow no session. The next session is on Monday. Monday, the link may get changed. Can you do one thing? Go to vtsschool.com. Okay. Okay, here can you log in? Okay, that means can you register and log in? So you can see this users link in the users link users tab. In the users tab, you can see the what I can say, the link and everything. So just register for now. Okay, na? Just go to vtsschool.com. Just okay, log out. For example, if I log out, click on the login, first register here. And then you can try to log in with phone number or email, whatever it is. You can get the OTP. Then you can see, okay, users tab. In the users tab, your enrolled courses you can see. Okay, na? There you can see
Okay,
the link. Okay, if you have any concerns, just drop a mail to this email ID, trainings@vtsschool.com. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then we'll continue remaining things in the next session. Next session is on Monday. Okay, I'm going to upload all these videos in the YouTube channel. Just you can go through those. Just
Okay,
prepare
sir.
all this. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.